New York sky pouring rain from the afternoon. It's not over until late. The INN is located deep in the alley near the underground bus station. Become quieter than us, UAL. There was only the sound of rain falling on the roof, and the yellow light dims through the thin curtains. 24-year-old engineering intern at a refrigeration company. Just finished a long day of work. With these skylights for a new bar to open. Back to the wet room. I just squeezed out my raincoat and sat down on the bed. Tired stranger. Small room, about 12 million old, but clean. It's just next to the owner's room. My 5-year-old daughter married 2 years ago. Beautiful to live alone. 10-room suite. But the students here are just whispering to each other. Just one thing. She is the kind of dangerous woman who attracts strange souls. You don't really care. I only rented a few months anyway. Focus on working and gaining experience is the main thing. It's just that I haven't understood since I moved here. The letter's eyes. It's like passing by every time you walk by. It makes me look back a second time. That night, I had just taken a shower and was cleaning. There was a soft knock on the door. "Sister, are you asleep?" The letter's voice was as small as being afraid to be awake neighbor. He hurriedly put on his shirt and opened the door. What's wrong with the letter? In front of you is a drenched woman. Sister Thursday wears a silver gray 2-string nightgown. As thin as bone. Attached to people due to the rain. Black laced out, but can't hide the curve that's hidden. You're stuck on both sides. Water dripping down the green hump bone. It makes me look somewhere else. She went to collect clothes and slipped and poured a bucket of water. Went into the room only to find out there was no towel. "Can I borrow a towel for you?" She bit her lips with a soft smile. But the eyes are not light. I feel my heart beating a beat. "I can't wait for you." I stumbled back and pull out the towel that smells like fake water from the hook. When I returned, the letter was still there. Hand clawed gently along the edge of the skirt. The eyes don't leave your face. "Give me your hand and I will give you my hand." The letter was not in a hurry to pick up the towel. Instead, she leaned towards him a little. The smell from her steaming body crashed into his nose. But full of instinct. "Honey, my hands are wet, please help me. I want you to hang up the shirt and dry it." She spoke quietly enough for him to hear and could not refuse. He was silent for a few seconds. "It's just a towel, nothing too much," I thought to myself. But when I walked into the room next to the letter, the warm smell of vanilla-flavored candles, the yellow-orange light from the corner of the room, and the ceiling fan rotates slowly, makes all my senses mix. She turned her back and took off her wet lace shirt. Hang up the door hook. Smooth white skin of bare back. It's hidden under a skirt string as thin as a thread. She reached out and said softly, shaking hands, "Bring the towel closer." Then the letter turned face to face. "Thank you. No, I'm sure you've been freezing all night. Your voice is like pouring honey into your hand." He said, "You take the towel." But instead of wiping, he put the towel on her neck. My elongated fingers wet the water through my skin. A touch that seemed accidental. That made my heart almost stop beating. The towel just touched her neck. I saw my back numb. The letter's fingers were slowly steaming. It's like not just wiping water. It's also tapping into your emotional circuits. "I'm too hot to rain." "You didn't wipe him dry right away, did you?" She whispered. Her breath must be gently close to his. "You are hard." I look at the wall in front of me. I dare not look down. Because if you just look down, you'll see smooth breasts, the fragile dress that's clinging to your body. The owner and I knew once I looked, I won't get out. Smiling softly, you know that. She saw his hands clenching softly. Breath broken and eyes out of tune. I'm kidding, dry IT. She withdrew her hand and walked to the table. Pick up the water and put it on the heater. It's late and you're still boiling water. Slip your mouth. It's like clinging to a normal topic. Yes, I want to make some ginger tea to warm you up. The rain is cold. She stopped and looked at him. Can I drink it with you? Tu hesitated. But the letter's eyes at the time, the glitter in her eyes was a little fragile. I can't help but turn away. I nod slightly. Thursday poured tea with the smell of warm ginger in the air. Two people sitting across from each other. Just a small table apart. But the gap seems thinner than ever. The letter is light. Teacup handle. The nightgown swayed slightly to reveal its bare shoulders. Wet black hair. The candles flickered on her cheeks. Make every line soft. Hard to resist. You stay up late, the letter asked in a low voice. I'm not sure if I'm familiar with the strange bed. Is your bed strange? I'm startled. The question came out lightly. Not fast, not slow, but enough to make your cheeks burn. My eyes are still on you. The corners of the lips slightly raised, as if waiting for a reaction. I haven't tried my bed yet, so I don't know. The letter broke out laughing. A little guy with a clean smile. But I can't hide anything. I said, your death scares me again. She stood up and walked towards the small bookshelf, pulled out another fur towel. This time it's a new towel that smells of water. Then throw IT back. This towel is for tomorrow. Don't get wet like today. It's not always convenient to borrow. Is it a reminder or an appointment? He grabbed the towel and smiled. But in my heart I know. Something very different from today. I went back to my room that night and couldn't sleep. The sight of the letter standing in the candlelight. Thin skirt hugging the skin pink from the cold. The smell of ginger tea mixes with the smell of the body. It all shows up as a slow-motion video. But I know my host. I didn't just borrow a towel because of the cold. And then, as if to confirm all the doubts hanging in my heart. 2 nights later, at 11 o'clock, the phone rang. The number of messages on the screen. Baby, are you asleep? Nothing yet, I'm sulfur monoxide confused. The bathroom faucet was suddenly detected, and the water kept flowing. Please come and have a look for me. No one comes to call the workers now. Brother Sukkon. I know very well with my water repair experience. A water hose is nitrogen monoxide, big deal. But what makes you hesitate is not the hose. It's the letter. Call me again at night. And this time there was water leaking from the receiver. I said, yes, I'll be right there. I stood in front of the library. I can hear the water in silence. The small house. The owner is located at the end of the private apartment. It has its own entrance. Renovated from the old warehouse. The space is both warm and humid. The fragrance of water is soothing. Somewhere in the dark. The door is ready. Come in, he whispered, his hand touching the wooden wall. Yes, the lock is broken and you push it yourself. His voice cracked as if he had just taken a shower. Bag pushed the door, step in. The light from the ceiling lamp dyed the room a translucent yellow. The double room on one side is a desk, small book rack. Over there is a closed bed and bathroom on a brick floor. A long stream of water flowed from the bathroom door near the middle of the room. And the letter is sitting in front of the mirror. Over the silk gown, her long hair was still drenched in water drooping down her shoulders. Low back ceiling panels through thin fabric. I'm in a hurry to look elsewhere. The letter didn't come back in the bathroom. Water flows from the valve that folds under the lavabo. I dare not touch you here. 2 entered the bathroom, clean white brick wall. There's still steam on the mirror. Clothes she squeezed on the towel hanger, hanging on one side, but still soaking wet. The sound of dripping from the water pipe as knocking on your ear. With every beat, he knelt down and pulled the tool from his pocket. But I can't turn the pin yet. Then the letter quietly appeared behind her. I brought another towel for fear that you would slip. I turned around and my heart missed a beat. The letter is so close. Just lean in and touch each other. Silk gown on one side, open shoulder. Thin neck and red bone after shower. She didn't wear a belt, she just closed eye. And every step makes the body of the dress shake slightly, drawing soft curves, as if there were no My sister and I are almost done, and I bowed down in a hurry. Why don't you slow down? The letter quietly put his hand on the edge of the lavabo. Who lean a little closer to you. The air suddenly thickened. You are a cowboy. But the smell of Thursday Len's body wafted with every breath. It makes it hard to stay focused. Her skin smells nice and the steam still lingers on her neck. Quietly drops down to the smooth skin under the thin coat. Do you have back pain? The letter whispered. The hand lightly touched her shoulder too. It's easy to get tired of folding like this. Why not? Try to stay calm. But the last touch was like a needle. To pop something off. Very instinctive in you. The lady did not withdraw her hand. She slipped her finger down to his arm. A gentle claw. Soft as a hair that makes your back chills. My body flexes reflexively. Come back. The moment their eyes met slowly, almost to the point, see the light reflected in the bottom of the eye, like a non-verbal touch. But the lady doesn't laugh anymore. Her eyes were as defiant as asking if I dared. I stopped breathing. No one said anything. The bathroom became too small, too hot. The water is still leaking like a beet. He tightened the wrench in his hand. As if he didn't, the Kia hand will slide towards the bare shoulder, soft in front of you. And finally he leaned up. His eyes still did not leave her eyes and his voice was deep. You deliberately made water, right? You read the letter without answering. But the corners of the lips curled up very softly. Neither confirm nor deny. She turned slowly and walked out, leaving behind the smell of flesh and a warm space behind. Sister, you made ginger tea. Let us finish drinking with you. Her voice echoed from the outer room as softly as honey. I sat for a few seconds and sighed. I know the rain the other day was accidental, but tonight was clearly intentional. Step out of the bathroom. 2 hands are still wet. Sweat because of the heat in the air. The hose is locked. But your mind is leaking. Images that are hard to shape. The skin's eyes are wet, the soft claw on the shoulder blade. The letter is sitting on the edge of the bed. Slightly curved back, fumed ginger teacup handle. Long hair down the spine. The gown remains loosely closed to reveal the transparent collar. Some black lace lines sparkled like provocation. It's still hot. You said that without turning around. Come here and have a drink. It's cooling down tonight, and you're feeling down. He hesitated for a few seconds and then moved on. Sit down in the opposite chair. Avoid looking directly at your chest, where the skirt slid down every time she bent over. But the more you try to avoid that presence, the stronger it gets. I passed the cup of tea to you. Smiling letter. Her finger touched the back of his hand as he handed her the glass. Or, you scared me. No, he replied hoarsely. I'm just not used to it. Not familiar with anything. She looked up at him, half smiling, sitting next to a woman. Two squeezed her hands around the cup of tea, sitting close to women like her. She replied, stopping the letter a little. Then she laughed softly like the wind. And I thought you were so stubborn. I look at you with a little bow and I think you're insensitive. Slowly breathing is not indifference, but fear of losing the steering wheel. Both of you have a cup of tea in your hand, but not with the warm palms of your hands. From a distance, almost close to the flesh. Letter with your back. Two legs cross skirt slip according to the curve of the thigh. The smell of sparkling water, with ginger tea and light breath. I thought you were dangerous and asked not to look at you. The police did not answer immediately. I look at the table. The candles flickered on my face. Glass splashed on the bridge of her delicate high nose. I'm not dead. It is not dangerous, he said slowly. I only know that I am beautiful. And don't be afraid to let others see it. The letter turned to. Her eyes stopped at his cheeks and slid down my wet collar. Are you saying that as a compliment or a warning? Both letters are silent, but the smile on her lips fades. The joke softened into a strange expression. Deeper, softer, as slipping from a familiar role. She put down her tea and stood up and walked over to him. If you knew you were so dangerous, do you dare to sit back? She bent down to whisper by the ear. A deep and smelly voice of the night. I looked straight into the eyes for the first time. You have dangers worth trying, he replied almost without breathing. He laughed softly and suddenly bent down. It's not a kiss, I tease a kiss on your forehead. The warmth from your skin passes through your skin. With the smell of damp hair and slow breathing. I don't need you to say anything, she whispered, as long as you didn't retreat. Then she stood up straight. Pull out a dry towel on the chair. Kneel down in front of me without warning. And start wiping the water on the collar. You're dead. Her soft hand glided softly over the blue collarbone. Your fingers touch your skin with every movement. It's no longer an indifferent touch. It's that each glide is intentionally slow. It's like wanting to get into the flesh. Their eyes met without avoiding. There is no nitrogen monoxide half in that look. There's only two people swimming in silence. Soft as honey. But both reason and limits have no trace. The towel stopped. The letter finger is still on my neck. Slowly put your hand up and grab her wrist. Not strong, but it's enough to make you understand that you're not hesitating. A moment like freezing in the middle of the night. Then suddenly the lights went out. Outdoor thunder like rain back. But only darkness remained in the room. Breathing and two bodies close together in space. There's no light to hide. Do you still dare to sit back? The letter's voice echoed in the darkness by my ear. The smell of her hair streamed across her cheeks. You don't answer. Your hand is tighter than your waist. Maybe this night has just begun. The sound of the rain peeling on the roof. Darkness enveloped the room. But all the senses are so bright. In the silence, I can hear every breath. every soft touch of leather on the fabric, a VA fragrance to memory. The letter is still standing next to him. His breath is steady but warm. Your wrist is still in the palm of your hand. Small SOFT. But it's like keeping your whole enchanted body in front of you. Lightning flashed outside the window. Make the room flash for a second. It's enough to see the letters looking at me. Deep, and almost challenged me to stand up. No one said anything. He pulled the letter closer. In the dark, every gesture becomes clearer than the lights. His hand is placed lightly on her waist, thin, but she really left it alone. And then slowly press your forehead against your chest. Bah, her skin is cool and fragrant. I don't like being alone, she whispered as if confessing. Especially when the power goes out and it rains. You don't know how to respond with words. He just bent his head and put his chin on top of her head. They stood there without a sound. The two bodies come together like primal reflexes. No definitions, no side labels. Seconds later, the person who left the first embrace. She walked slowly towards the shelf to get a candle. The fire rose from the flickering match, pouring orange light on her face, and once again, everything is so vague that it's so bright. She put the candle in the empty glass and sit back on the edge of the bed. When I fixed the water, you were behind me for a long time, she said, spinning the cup of cold tea. I look at you the way you silently concentrate. Then I shiver just because you're close. It's quiet, but I like the feeling. It makes a man confused. But she paused and looked up. I don't think you dare go any further. You come closer in the dim candlelight. I sat down not across from you, but very close by. I'm afraid you speak slowly. But sometimes fear is more stimulating than courage. The letter laughed softly. A hoarse laughter, as if echoing from the throat. It's dangerous, I don't know. I turned to look at you. IKNOW. You didn't answer right away. Just quietly lift the cup of tea to your lips. But when leaning, the skirt slid down a little bit, to reveal bare white shoulders, and the nightgown straps are as thin as you are. The collar is a bit wide. It just takes a little movement, and the thin line breaks. Take a deep breath. I've tried to get used to the sensuality of the letter from the first time I met, but it's never felt so close and so real. Not through the bathroom glass. It's not the smell on the towel. It's every millimeter of flesh that's in front of you. In the darkness and the candles. Here you put the tea down. Then tilt your head at me. Really? Yes. If you don't call me over for the water tonight. If you're not wet, don't wear this dress, don't wear your shirt. Are you coming? You didn't answer. But I took her hand this time. One finger squeezed and let go. Your voice is low, and you probably won't come for a towel. Not for tea. Not because of the blackout, but because my sister looked at me for a long time. The look is no longer joking or challenging. In her eyes was a woman who had been hurt. I've lost, and now I am looking into something. Greater than the flesh is the belief. I know you're older than you say. I know you were married. I'm not an 18-year-old girl. 22, take your hand for a walk. It's called first love. He squeezed her hand tighter. So I dare not joke. The letter's eyes slowly softened. She puts her head lightly on his shoulder. Like a flower bending after the rain. Outdoor. The wind blew through the door, and the candle swayed. The letter whispered, my lips almost touched my neck. Let me believe once tonight. Suck corn and let me in. She said quietly, don't make me throw you out. I didn't answer right away. The candle flickered and the light warmed up. The high nose of the letter, shining down on the still damp hair that was flashing across her cheeks. She still rests her head on your shoulder, hands knit together on thighs, soft as a flower. Two-letter inclined face. His breath crossed her forehead and she looked up. Slowly, not to avoid. In those eyes, no more jokes, no, more traps. There's only one fragile thing left. It's both a challenge and an invitation. You said you might not need me to answer, but don't leave me alone. He put his hand on her hand and gently squeezed at. Then I slowly got up and walked to the edge of the bed. Their eyes still did not separate. Every step you take is pulled by an invisible rope. The rope is woven from the gaze, from breathing and emotions that never happened before. The letter asked nothing more. She slowly stood up in front of him. Light hands raised the skirt of the robe and drop it down. It's an almost unconscious movement, but makes Tim to beat a beat. 3 robes slipped off her shoulders, fell to the floor without a sound. Under the candles, the letter's body was covered in a soft yellow velvet, white skin, a thin silk nightgown that sticks to every curve, hugging my full chest. Slim waist and long legs hidden behind the fabric. But I dare not step forward. I'm afraid one touch will make me lose my mind. The letter saw him stop and she smiled softly and walked towards you. Pull out the t-shirt tie. Wet on you and pull up. No words, no oxygen monoxide questions asked. It's just slow action. Just enough for both of you to feel the touch. Just enough so that both hearts can't find their normal rhythm again. His shirt fell on his shoulder. Chen's back was wet and trembling. Cold? She asked softly, placing her hand on his chest. I don't, he answered in a voice that was barely out of breath. I'm hot. Put your hand on your face. And then he leaned over his lips to touch your wet blue spines. It was a very quiet kiss, like putting the first comma in a sweet paragraph of text. He's starting to put your arms around your waist and pull them close to you. For the first time, their bodies pressed together completely. No gap, no fabric layer. Both of you are breathing, eyes closed, skin touching. All reason gives way to feeling. The smell on the male. The smell of sweat-absorbing silk. And the flesh smells clean and fragrant. It's like a charm wrapped around your mind. He bent down to touch her lips. It is not a kiss. It's slow. It's like discovering a taboo, but can't refuse. He wrote back. Her lips were soft and warm, both sweet and thirsty. Her hands in her hair, he pulled closer. Every time you breathe, her chest is pounding against your chest, carrying by heat flow. It makes you hot, like there's fire in your blood. He gently pushed her down to bed. Letter of no resistance. She lies down with her hair down on her pillow, dress laid to the back. When he lies down next to her, hand still holds her waist. The palms of the hands begin to explore each soft boundary, from a slightly curved dorsal spine to the calves, smooth limbs, and then sliding down the thigh, where the nightgown is only long enough to cover what should be covered. Are you sure? The letter whispered, its voice trembling, not because of the cold. It's because emotions are overflowing. You don't answer with words. I responded with a second kiss. Deeper, longer. And this time there's no silence, Chen, in between me. Follow me with a soft hand on your shoulder. Body as soft as dissolved under a thin blanket. The room became thick with the smell of flesh, the smell of the cushion, and the rush of breath mixed with the sound of the rain outside the roof. Each light claw, every touch seems to be intentional. It's like they're both in an instinctive trance, but not in a hurry. In the dark and the candles are going out, there are two people who are slowly leaving the world behind. Names such as boss, sister, or landlord. Only two lonely people found each other, touch each other, and willing not to back down. The candle went out like an end to the light. But there's no end to that darkness. On the contrary, every feeling really begins. Darkness makes all the limits vague, and make the touches. The sounds of breathing became clearer than ever. She lay on her side, her breath pressed against Tu's neck. Her hair drifted down cool at the back of her neck. The dress fell off her shoulders, sliding down the waist to reveal soft and white skin. As if covered in thin bone. Not seen. He 2 times, hands on her spine slowly. Your fingers don't go in a hurry, they follow the curve. As if afraid of touching something too precious or too dangerous. Slowly the letter whispered in a hoarse voice because of emotion. Don't scare me. I stopped looking at you, though there's not much to see but a faint shadow. But just breathe. The smell and the heartbeat are bouncing between your chest. I know you're real and fragile. Put your forehead lightly on your forehead. You don't scare me. You said quietly, I want you to forget. I smile in the dark. A smile that I can't see, but it's felt through the lips. By the way, your body is more relaxed in your arms. She put her lips on her shoulder and kissed softly. From shoulder down, biceps, arm down, arm. Every touch is a personal use of the letter. Her hand clasped Gar to the bed and found your hand, as if wanting a spot. When emotions are taking you beyond consciousness. Dear, you have a different voice than I thought. It's different, whispered in the ear. I thought you'd be as reckless as the young boys. Read the letter and laugh. Your laughter is wet and tired. Put your arms around your waist and pull closer. Because you're not young girls. The words silenced the letter for a while. She bit her lip and turned. Turn your back, but stay close. Your hand runs through her waist tight. The smell of her hair on the pillow. The smell of flushing water. And body odors come together like an anesthetic. She spoke softly as she confessed. It's been a long time since I let AI get that close. Silence, his hand gently clasped her biceps. The way people calm down. A door just opened after years of being locked. So let me lie by your side tonight. You said you didn't have to do anything. Just be there. The letter sighed a relaxing breath. Then pull the blanket over both of them. The room is still dark. The rain on the porch is falling, like walking them into a rare space, in the midst of the cramped pace of life. But they don't need more words. Just the soft touches, clasps and rhythmic breaths are enough. I still haven't slept in the morning. I lay still, listening to the steady breathing of the letter. Feel the soft body, curled up in my arms. You sleep like a child. Put your head on your hand. Chest fluttering slightly, face unusually serene. Under the moon's glow through the curtains, I can see your long lashes. The lips are red, and some of my hair stuck across my cheeks. You sleep without offense. He kissed her on the forehead. A kiss as a promise. Not in a hurry, not to press, but will not leave. Outside, the chicken crowing soon began to sound. The first light of the new day. slowly, Len, into 2 room. No, when the letter wakes up, everything will be different. But I also know what they touched tonight. It is not just flesh, but it's something deeper and more intimate. Something that you've kept separate for years, until a towel was forgotten to bring in. When the letter opened its eyes, the early light filled the room. The sun is not harsh, just gently through the thin curtain, dyed the floor a sweet honey color. She moved herself. I can feel the warm arms around my waist. Her body still had the afterglow of a long night, both tender and sobbing. The letter turned back. You're still sleeping, breathing. The hair has a few strands down the forehead. A strange, peaceful face. I looked at you for a few seconds, and then you put your hand through the bridge of your nose, and the lips softened of the young boy, the one who only last night called you boss. Now it's always been a strange way to call I. She smiled alone and crept out of bed. Bare feet on the cool brick floor. The nightgown is still wrinkled, but she didn't bother to adjust. The soft feeling behind the cloth reminded her of her. Every hug, every time. Your breath is hot in your hand. You stand there, a kitchen handrail looking out through the window slot. Last night's rain washed away the dust. The trees fluttered in the sun. Leaves still standing, sparkling water droplets. Smiling, the only thing unwashed is your heart. Still wet in my lap. And behind my back, I woke up so early. The letter came back and he was standing against the bedroom door, wearing only sports pants. Low back to bare chest firm. Skin dares to shine early light. My hair is a little messy. His eyes were still sleepy, but they still looked like something. You're awake, you can't sleep. The letter asked, slowly turning the glass in your hand. I can sleep, but when I wake up, I wake up. I answered in a deeper voice than Usual. When you both look at each other, a fleeting shyness, not out of regret, but because, after one night crossing the line, it takes a few seconds to learn. Call each other from the beginning. Step closer. Her hand touched the back of the letter, but she did not back down. You leave it alone. It's as if you've been used to that touch for a long time. Do you regret? You can't hide your inferiority. The letter put the glass down, turned, and looked straight into his eyes. If you say yes, I'll back off. He swallowed calm and shook his head. No, I just want to know where I should be. He laughed, tired but in. Your sister's position moves closer. He was the only one who let me into the room. It's almost midnight. I didn't borrow a towel. AT first, the towel later. There is no note need for a reason. Your arms around your waist. They were silent for a while. Just hear the ceiling fan spinning quietly above your head. You don't have to play a role slowly. It doesn't have to be a sexy boss. You don't have to be strong. Put your head on my chest. What do you want me to be? She whispered softly, just a letter. The one I think of every time. Look at the room next to you. Looking up at you. In the glittering eyes a little blurry. Not really tears, not really emotional. It's what it feels like to be loved by a woman. To be seen and needed. I think you're choking. If you'd come a few years earlier, maybe you didn't get to play the boss. The smile kissed her forehead. Sooner or later, I opened the door. I laughed out loud this time, my arms clasped at me. If the door is opened, IT won't be closed. I have the key. Outside the patio, the sun is shining down on the paper flower that has just flowered. A gentle wind swept through. Flower wings, pink chalk fade. It's like feeling in the mail right now. Relieved of joy and full of aftertaste. No one knows what will happen tomorrow. But at least on the first morning after the night of interest, both are implicit. This debt will never be fully paid. It's going to be a little bit in every fist, every look, and even on soft mornings like today. That morning, I went back to my room when the sun was shining. Not in a hurry. Not because of fear, but because the letter looked at him with tender eyes and said, "Go back for a break, I've got work to do. If you are not busy eating dinner with me." Slight nods without asking more. They parted with a short but deep-lipped touch. As a private code. His little motel room still smells damp after the rain. The light shining through the old curtain, forming faint streaks of light on the floor. He lay down on the bed with his hands behind his head, eyes on the ceiling. But, my heart still hasn't recovered from last night's beating. The flesh still traces of the letter. The caresses, slight bite on the shoulder, and the way she breathed in my ear like a confession. Can't put it into words. But what moves me more? Not the body letter. It's when you were peeling fruit this morning. No lipstick, no slim skirt. It's just an old t-shirt and tangled hair. But in that look, there's a tenderness. Just ENOUGH. To pierce my heart like a cold midsummer wind. He rolled aside and opened the phone. There's some work messages from the engineering team. Some missed calls. But I don't want to answer. There's nothing else in my mind right now but letters. I think about you. Not on a night out. It's more nights than that. Other rainy nights, other power outages. Sunday mornings, smell of coffee and fans. The ceiling rotates slowly. I sent a message for a letter. If you are busy at night, let me cook. I owe you a meal when you borrowed a towel. The message was read less than 10 seconds later. A heart symbol sent back without words. One way down. The air in the cool alley after last night's rain. The students are kicking the bridge in front of the block. The laughter was tingling. The sound of slippers sweeping across the wet brickyard. I brought my bag back to the apartment. There's some beef in the bag. Less vegetables and egg pasta wrapper. I don't know how to cook much. I want to make this meal myself. Not because of the debt, but because I missed it. As you walk through the mailroom, the door is still closed. The curtains swayed, and there was no AI inside. But I know you're home, or at least waiting. At exactly 7 o'clock, he knocked on the door. There was no answer a few seconds after the door opened. But the lady appeared. In a pillow-length dress. Hair tied, high face without makeup. But it's that simplicity that makes you... It deserves a beat. You're terrible, she said with a smile. I told you to eat rice, but I'm afraid the rice will be cold. Laughing, stand aside and let me in. The room today smells of lemongrass, essential oil. The SOFT light from the corner table lamp. It makes the space warmer than ever. Food bag out on the table, a plate of fried egg, a bowl of broth for cooking meat, and of course, beef stir-fried noodles, the name that you still cook when you were born. Tablet. I can't believe you know how to cook, the letter said as he sat next to her. IT doesn't taste good, but it doesn't die. It can make others addicted. Her eyes lit up like a small candle. They ate their rice in soft music. From the Bluetooth speaker to the corner of the table. No one says too much. But every gesture, from picking up food for each other, to the touch, the hand glides under the table. They all carry a very intimate secret. After the meal, I walked Ate from behind. Her arms around her waist. But you didn't come back. Just lean your head against your chest. Hands continue to wash. If there's a few more nights of rain. Are you tired of me? She asked in a voice like water. Without whispering. I'm just afraid of the rain. The answer silenced the letter for a few seconds. Water from the faucet is still flowing. Soap foam rolling on her hands. Dissolve into the sink as a reminder. Moments like this are short. She turned off the faucet and wiped her hands and turned around. I never thought I'd let anyone into this kitchen. Except to fix the water pipe. He kissed her lightly on the forehead. I didn't come to fix anything. I just came to stay. I looked at you this time for a long time. It's now stronger, a testing eye. It's not as glamorous as the first night. There's only one woman who's been lonely enough. Doubtful, ENOUGH. Standing in front of a young but not shallow hand. A slight nod. Then don't make me lock the door again. After dinner that day, the distance between you and the letter almost disappeared. No need to text. You don't have to knock on her door and go straight home after work. Come to your room. One day I just sat and listened to her tell stories in heaven and earth. Help her clean the kitchen and change the light bulb. Or simply lie side by side under a ceiling fan. Slowly hear the cicada outside the door. The small room of the letter becomes a private world, where a woman used to live alone. Now there's a new breath, warm and young but not noisy. She didn't ask about the future. They don't force you to define the relationship. Once, when she was lying on his lap, she just said softly, "Just come and open the door." Every day someone gets tired, IT's closed. You know IT's, not your superficiality. It's how a grown woman chooses to love. Silent reality. Not bound. But once you give it all in the skin of your heart. And by something deeper than words. It's been 3 nights since I first borrowed a towel. It's raining again. The rain was not heavy, but it was enough to make the air cool. I just washed my hair and IT was wet. You wrap your towel around. When I came out, I heard a knock on the door. You don't have to guess the letter. You pull the door. Standing there holding a small paper bag. Tufted hair high. Wearing a long t-shirt over the butt. It was as if I had just put on my pajamas and gone. I brought some late-night food. I just washed my hair, he said. The letter didn't answer, just raised her eyebrows and walked in. She put the bag on the table and opened IT's a box of hot lotus seed tea. Listen, she said, take the towel in your hand. Men wash their hair at night, easily headed. Dizzy later weak person. Are you threatening me to keep me sleeping? UNCLE. Smiling as she tilted her head like a Chinese medicine doctor. The letter didn't reply, Just put a towel on your head. Gentle and slow. As if he wasn't wiping his hair. It's comforting something in your mind. Keep your head down. Follow the smell of your body around your nose. The smell of shampoo, the smell of clean flesh and a little chalk. To her hands freshly wiped every lock of his hair, and then suddenly slid down the nape of a soft claw. You are always hot, she whispered softly. He looked up to catch her eyes. You are always soft. She laughed. Just pull her down to bed. The tea box is set aside. They both said nothing more. Just sitting close to each other, touching the skin, breathing in the closed space. Put your hand on the letter, where the t-shirt wasn't long enough to cover. Her skin was smooth and cold because of the rain. But under the skin, it's a smoldering temperature like an underground fire. Put your head on my shoulder and put your arms around me. I'm not going to my room tonight. She spoke softly as a bone. He said without asking why. The yellow light in the room flashed, to make every line tender. IT doesn't burn, IT doesn't claw. It's just two adults choosing to be together. As a way to rest. But rest means complete peace. When the clock strikes 1 a.m., the rain outside is still fake. Male carrying me pull Gar up across the chest. She lies on her side opposite to. My hand touched my chin. Do you remember the first time I knocked on the door? He opened his eyes and smiled. I didn't knock, I borrowed a towel. I was standing outside the door, trembling and calculating. Count what? See if you look into my eyes, oh, on my chest. They both laughed. You pull her closer. Hands slid along her dorsal spine under thin Gar layer. And what do you see? I saw you blush. The letter closed its eyes so red that I thought, if you type again, I'll run. I kissed her on the forehead, but she didn't run. Because you left the door open. They were silent for a few minutes. Then the letter spoke. I'm not afraid to love someone older than me. A husband has fallen. He squeezed her in his arms and spoke slowly. You've never been anything. You're the one who makes me want to come back every night. You're the one I don't want anyone else to touch. The letter didn't respond. She just pressed her face to his chest. Your palms clasped my back. As if that AI would pull you away. Lost. The old hotel room. A bed needing rain falling outside the veranda, the wind howled through the door slits. But in their arms, it's a feeling you can't buy with a young love. The feeling of two people finding each other. After so many strays. It's been almost a week since that first night. Two's habits and letters become strangely matched. No need to say, no need to tell. It rains every night or not. The light by the mailbox window was still on. And the door is still open. But I didn't move in. I come back in case I need to be quiet. Keep your own space. But I don't see the light on every night. You're scratching like a lack of breath. The letter never calls. You always leave a sign. Pair of extra sandals set against the patio. Ready-made tea on the table. Or just the smell of her hair. It was as if he had just stood there and gone inside. For both don't name the relationship. But the attachment just gets sick at every touch of the shoulder. Every meal, every night curled up under a thin blanket. Friday night the rain did not fall, but the wind was dry and hot. Late to drive home. Hair, ear-tangled shirt with back. But the mailroom is still lit. I want to go to the bathroom first. I saw the door open more than usual. He gently pushed the letter sitting on the couch by the window. Wearing a light blue two-string dress. The back of the shirt is low to reveal the smooth shoulders and nape. The hair is bunched high, lazy few strands. Down the neck. The light from the ceiling light behind. It makes the shadow. You're in a sexy light. Hold your breath for a few seconds. The letter didn't come back but said, "Light as I know you're standing there. Do you want to wash your hair?" I walked up to you and said, "I dare to refuse." The letter returned in her eyes with a wet light. Makes me want to slide down and drown. Go to the bathroom. You've mixed water. He took off his shirt right at the door, the towel still squeezed on his shoulder. He left his bare feet on the cool brick floor. 2 bathrooms with orange essential oil bath. Stainless steel bath full of warm water with lemon smell. I sat down in a plastic chair. Seconds later, the letter enters the water CA handle. The thinner the dress, the tighter it is. By the steam around the room. She bent down and started pouring water on his hair. The warm water flowed over his head and down his shoulders. She closed her eyes with every movement, and her hands were drawing on her scalp. You with your palms. Wet smell. I used to wash my sister's hair as a child. He said he liked the feeling of the AI touching his head. They say it's as safe as a eye's brain. Smiling letters, still closed eyes. I don't have you. I've never washed my hair like this. That's why I'm blushing all the time. Tease your hands into your hair, gently rubbing. She poured shampoo on her hair, smelling of lavender Lanra. Her hands start dreaming out slowly in small circles. Relax your whole body. I can feel the woman I like touching my head. Not by desire, but with a peaceful embrace. It softens my heart like soap under your hand. You know what? The letter's voice softened. I used to think I wouldn't let an AI walk into this bathroom, because it's the weakest place. She nods softly where she used to cry, washed away her tears. But now, she opened her eyes and grabbed her wrist and pulled down. Your hands are wet but firmly clenched. But now I tease a place. I hear your heart beating. A second later, she bent down and kissed him on the forehead. The kiss was light, nitrogen monoxide, smell, nitrogen monoxide, foam. It's just the smell of flesh and breath mixing with the sound of water. After drying your hair, go outside. She sat down in a chair wearing a thin shirt, and the letter takes the dryer sitting behind you. Her hands are still clasping. He closed his eyes slightly like a small cat being stroked. One day, lady, slowly, I'll ask you if you want to live with me. He opened his eyes and looked straight at her. And I'll ask if I need to sign another lease. The letter laughed, but her eyes were a little teary. Hands pull her up on her lap. Hands clasped around her waist fell on me. Body soft and fragrant like every night. This woman whispered, her voice suddenly. I need to wash my hair more than once a week. The letter buried his face in his neck. He said vaguely, You can wash forever. The next morning I woke up late. The office is quiet. The curtains are drawn slightly so that the sun does not shine too hard. The letter got up a long time ago but didn't go far. She's sitting at his naked desk in his white shirt. Button on the seat with 2 legs. I typed something on the laptop. Elongated fingers. Wrists showing blue tendons under soft light. Thigh-length shirt. The back of the thin shirt glued to the spine of her bent back. Every time you lean in a little bit, you don't speak up. I lay there watching you like a moving picture. The silence makes my heart drop. It's been a long time. I've never seen anyone make me just look. It's enough for the heart to beat uncontrollably. Not for the body. Because of the way you exist. Living in your space. Breathe at the same pace as you. I know you woke up but didn't come back. There's coffee, she said quietly. I sat up and covered my hair with a blanket. Yes, I answered some emails for the guests. The letter turned its head, laughing softly. I don't have a physical office and everything is online. He stepped closer to her, arms around her shoulders from behind. Chin on top of your head. Tilt your head to the side so you have a place to rest. So is there an AI sending a special care email? He teases her hair, distracting him. Yes, she laughed. Someone asked me to wash my hair for the rest of my life. Smiling, my arms tightened lighter. They didn't leave the room all morning. You try to fix the skewed bookshelf. I picked out some old dresses to wash. You try this on. She laughed and threw him an old male shirt. I was in the middle of the room without hesitation. He wears a tight shirt. The smell of old cloth mixed with a little water. Your predecessor, he asked half jokingly. He looked at me for a few seconds and shook his head. It is not available but not worn. Waiting for the right person. Not waiting for you to speak softly. It's just that no one ever made you want to do their laundry. He stepped forward and put his hands on her waist. Do your laundry for me tonight. She looked up at those eyes. It's just amazing. It's an affirmation for something to silently change direction. But that night, I went out to eat. It's not a fancy restaurant. It's just a beef noodle shop in a small alley. Two people sitting opposite. Eat like any normal couple. No one looked at me for too long. No one touches the middle of the table. But the eyes always meet, even if only briefly. When I came back, it rained. Not big, but enough. So the two of you have to stay together under the eaves. Waiting for you. Give your head to the letter. She looked up at his voice, joking back to the rain. Should I borrow a towel first? The letter came close to her ear. She whispered. This time I brought a towel. But you have to pay it right away to stay in debt. The letter burst out laughing and laughing under the eaves like lights. So he flashed over their heads. They both get wet in the room. Take a head towel for the letter. Every slow movement. Just like you did for me. You are used to doing everything for others. She said quietly, let me clean. But now it's my turn to get used to you. The letter said nothing more, just took my hand and led me to the bathroom. There's no day words tonight, no glances. The two bodies are so familiar with each other. Understand each other's temperatures. Now step into the warm, translucent steam to mix again. You are not to be satisfied, but to remember that they're alive. Touching something that's not a dream. After all, when the lights go out and the room goes dark, the letter lies on her knees. The hair around his neck breathed like Rue sleeping. I gently stroked her back in a low voice. Where are you going tomorrow? No whispers, I'll be home. You have to wash people's clothes. 10th night since borrowing the towel. Saigon sky moves, strange wind. IT doesn't rain. but there's something choking in the air. It's a sign that something is coming. Early Satan bag. I went to the supermarket to buy some ingredients. I want to cook ginger chicken today. What the letter said was the only taste I remember from my mother's kitchen before she died. He took it back to his room quietly, step by step. I didn't call you, I didn't text you, nor knock on the door. I just want this to be an evening. Please eat rice properly. No sex nitrogen monoxide does not imply. It's just an evening where you cook and eat. At 7 o'clock I knocked on the door. Opened the letter. Remains the brown silk shirt, coffee hair tie, height, lips without lipstick. But my eyes were a little surprised to see you standing there. Neat food tray handle. Fragrant gingerland smell in the wind. She asked her hand to adjust her hair according to reflexes. I don't jump. Laughter and more sour soup to cook me. I remember you saying you liked it. I looked at you longer than us UAL. The look that makes my heart flutter. Not because of desire, but because of the sudden tenderness in her eyes. Come on in, you're hungry, and you speak in a lower voice than us UAL. We ate in silence more than usual that night. Eat something slowly and carefully. I looked at you for a long time and then bent down again. You too. It's as if everyone is counting every second. Try to keep this feeling of peace for a long time. When she finished eating, she cleaned up and washed ate. Sit in the back. Watch your every move from an angle. Face. Kneaded neck, wet water to the spine, slightly curved back behind thin coat. But this time I haven't hugged her since. You don't come. I only look because I know something is changing. Late at night, the wind starts to blow. Light fly curtains. Makes the yellow light in the room flash. Follow the leaves in the yard. The letter came to the window and closed the curtains. She turned to him. Her shoulders suddenly felt cold. He pulled the blanket and patted next to her slowly. Lie down with your back to me. His arms around her, since no did one said anything. They lay like that for a long time. Breath flows together. But this time their bodies didn't need to be touched. Just warm, ENOUGH. A while later, the letter asked, yes, if you go away tomorrow. Do you remember me? Your hand is stronger than your low voice. Where are you going? The letter paused for a moment and then replied slowly. I don't know. I just feel like everything's going so well. Baby, don't leave. Not everyone can keep it. You have someone to hold it, but you choke it. They pull you around to face each other. His hands are on the back of her neck, EYES, looking deep into her eyes. If you go, I'll wait. No, I didn't promise to come back. Why are you still waiting? Her eyes trembled slightly. She buried her face in his chest, her voice choked. You're so young. I'm afraid one day you'll find me boring. I'm afraid I'm the pause between your youth and another girl. Two didn't say anything. I just put my hand on your head and kissed her hair slowly. You don't have to stop. You're where I stop. Outdoor day, the wind starts to howl through the door slits. But in that room, two people hugging each other without leaving. It's like just taking your hands off. Everything will slip out of reach. I woke up in the morning. She is still sleeping, Her arm is stretched across her waist. She sat up quietly watching him in the dim light. Tangled hair, slightly cracked lips. True and peaceful face. The peace that makes your heart glow. She walked down to bed. Walk barefoot to the table to get the phone. There is a message that has not been opened. Look at your situation if you want to start over. Darlot is always open. My old office remains the same. She turned off the screen and did not answer. Then quietly go back to bed under the blanket, hugging too. This time she tightened. It's like holding on to a choice that's both rational and heartfelt. They dare not admit, The next day, IT was clear, 01 clouds. Wake up earlier than us, UAL. Prepare breakfast with steamed eggs and toast. You're still sleeping. Tangled hair down on the forehead. Arms across the chest. It's like embracing an unfinished dream. He looked at me from the dinner table. And you wonder, this person. How sincere is this young man? And if I have the courage to not run away when things are too soft. Sister phone vibrates slightly. Message from a familiar number. MY Sister's crew flies from Hanoi tomorrow afternoon. If you lock us into keeping our old contract, let's start again after 3 years. 3 years ago in Dalot. You're the one who pulled out of the game. Media company I thought it would last a lifetime. But then, because a marriage didn't work, for a silent collapse. The letter chose to disappear from the land of fog. To escape to a small alley in Saigon. Where you used to think IT was just a temporary stop. Who expected that stop to have tool? The boy came into her life with a towel. With eyes that dare not look directly at. The woman's body is filled with silence. But then the eyes. It's where you want to hide most every night. I woke up when the clock was about 8. He yawned his shoulders and rubbed his eyes. The smell of land food throughout the room. Do you cook in the morning? He asked his sleepy voice. Eat, the eggs are cold. The lady is not coming back. You're sitting in your coffee-stirring hand. It's a very normal position. But the silence signals something different. I sat down in the opposite chair. I am not sure, but I am silent. He looked at me with straight eyes. You go to Darlot tomorrow. I don't know how long it lasted. I look at you without anger. It's just a moment of pressure. For the job you asked, yes, an old invitation. I'll go. Maybe if everything goes well. He nodded, his eyes down. A small crack just runs along my chest silently. But the pain. I understand. He said softly, I have my own way. I can't hold it. The letter stood up and approached. Bend down, put your hands on your shoulders. I've never been a keeper. But you're the one who makes me hesitate. Are you still hesitating? The letter looks at you. The look of a woman who knows what she needs. They also know how to give up at the right time. I don't know. Smiling, but not hiding the trembling in his lips. So let me help you remember. They didn't cook that night. They buy things to bring back. Play some music and sit close together on the floor with your back against the wall. I didn't ask any more. Sometimes I turn to the letter. I want to record every line on your face. from the cheekbones slightly elevated, the corners of her lips, to sit slightly tilted when sipping ginger tea. You are still a letter. But tonight, in the dim light, the letter seems to be fading away. It was nearly midnight when the letter went to the next room to get her bag. Back in her hand was an old little album. I've never seen you say this. You don't let anyone see you. You open every page. It's a photo taken in the media. There are sessions of deep hair photos behind the scenes dinner party. Some photos of her standing with a confident look. Red, long black dress. You used to be someone else. The lady whispered, who always walked faster than her emotions. But I don't want to go back if you don't have a place. I look up at you and carry you. It's not like here. No rainy nights, no hallways. There's no Trigenary zone to borrow a towel. With a smile, I brought a towel. The letter laughed, and the laughter was both sad and soft. People often pack clothes and carry books as souvenirs. I carry every towel. You're the only one who makes me want to wear nothing. The lady didn't laugh twice. She bowed her head to his shoulder. His hands clenched her waist like they wanted to clench. The in-room I once saw a cross between two people is now holding back an unanswered question. The AI will leave the hand first tomorrow morning. The next morning it didn't rain, but it wasn't sunny either. The air in the alley is silent, like the water has not yet rippled. Wake up early in the silent next room. He walked out into the hallway in his coat to knock on the door of the mailroom. But when my hand touched the door, I stopped. There was a slight pull of Vali and a knock on the door latch from inside. The door opened and the letter stood there. Neat white shirt. Hair tie, tall light brown lipstick. Small VA case placed next to the leg. I'm not surprised to see you. Like I knew you'd be there. Are you really going? He asked without hesitation. The letter nods, its eyes do not hide. The train departs at 9 o'clock. I want to get up early and avoid that. I will stay. Her voice was as soft as dew. But falling on you is as heavy as a stone. But I didn't ask any more. I just stood watching. Two hands clasped in pockets, as if to keep myself from clinging. Put your hand on your shoulder. One touch is enough to make my heart beat. Don't be mad at me. I'm not angry, I just need to breathe. She nodded, her eyes red, but didn't drop a drop. Then you go. Don't come back if you see It's really where you belong. He looked at me so deeply. It makes me feel like my whole body is open. Let me see every gap. Baby, she said softly. It's where you know you'll hurt if you leave. I tease a laugh, but it's a person's laugh. I don't know what to say not to cry. Go away if you remember. The letter bowed her lips to his cheek. I tease not a kiss that requires no sex. It's just a touch that brings you goodbye. Without a sound. You go, you nod, and the door closes. You don't go to your room. I sat down on the front porch and smoked a cigarette. Hands trembling slightly, not because of the cold. It's because of the space that's just been created in your chest. The VA rolled slowly towards the gate and was silent. There's only the wind sweeping across the porch. And a pair of little slippers still out the door. A day goes by quietly. There is no Itrogen message. There's no chat call. No, You have coffee. Or you can borrow another towel. Go back to work and open the door. But still not familiar. With silence in the hallway. But I didn't walk into the mailroom. I dare not open that door. Because I'm afraid everything inside still smells of me. The third day after the letter left, it rained again. It was the first rain since that day. But you didn't run into the shelter. He let the rain fall on his shoulders, his hair in the middle of the motel yard. Put your neck up in the sky. My heart is cold, but something is warm. Because in the rain I can hear you breathing by your ears. But in the rain I remember the way you laughed. Eyes curled like a girl. And I know if there's a long enough rain, it will bring you back. That night I lay in the dark to play back the only hidden recording on the phone. The letter's quiet voice. If you go, don't keep it. But if you come back, please don't ask why. He closed his eyes, holding the shirt he used to wear. The faint smell is still there. It's like an unanswered question. For outside the rain is not over. Saturday morning was suddenly sunny. After 3 days of rain. The light glistening through the leaves. Like a new breath. Fresh and full of meaning. He opened his eyes without alarm. No one knocked on the door. I lay still for a moment, looking at the space next to me. Where Ra would have had a woman removing her hair. Or put a light coffee on the table. You have no AI. I got up and brushed my teeth and changed my shirt. The shirt, the letter washed. The shirt has been dry since yesterday. But I leave it as an unending habit. I'm not going to work today. I just want to walk alone in the same alley. The old lady is still sitting on the corner. The bridge students are still laughing outside the motel yard. It's as if no one ever left. But with what's changed is the beat in the chest. I walk through the door of the library. I locked the curtains. All the signs show you haven't returned. You laugh softly and walk further to the end of the road, where there's a small cafe. They both stopped by once. The letter just said that day. This bar is not good, but the backyard has a nice sun. I sat at the right table that day and ordered the right thing. And when the glass of water is put down, something strange happens. A hand from behind placed lightly on his shoulder. Warm and familiar. Like the dream itself. That I've been repeating over the last few nights. The chicken was a little salty last time. His voice cracked softly low. Stand up. Try hair, naked white t-shirt face without lipstick. But the eyes that used to look at you with warmth, that now Twan never gave you before. Your sister stuttered, "You're home." Sit down in the chair, take a spoon, stir a cup of mint tea. I didn't come back, she said, looking at you. You just haven't gone far. Where have you been these days? Somewhere far enough to miss you, but not far enough to forget. The look on my heart choked. I didn't ask because I came back. I haven't asked you what you've been thinking all these days. I just sat down and held my little hand. Fingers with the pale blue ink of a composition. Hurry up. A UNT lips. They still hold the position for her office. Everything is the same as 3 years ago. Sister, are you going to go? Maybe not in a few weeks, maybe not. Smiling, but your eyes can't hide the fear. I don't want to be the one you forget. He put his hand on his cheek and stroked a slow line. So don't make me remember anyone else. They both returned to the old house that night. The door opened for the first time in 3 days. No dust, no change, everything still smells the same. Help me clean the bed. Wash the towel and reheat the leftover soup in the cabinet. Standing by the window, he holds a glass of hot water and says nothing. You come from behind, your arms around your waist. Put your chin on your shoulder. If it rains tomorrow, I'll borrow a towel. The letter turned to look at me. His eyes this time did not hesitate. If you borrow IT, I won't give IT to you. That's because I want to clean it myself. They hugged each other like never before. Like all the days without each other. Just pausing to breathe. 3 weeks later, Darlot sent back an email to read and click delete. There's no reply. There is no announcement. I only have one small door in the old block. Every night it opens when the wind changes. And there's someone standing outside the wet shirt holding the towel. Smiling mouth, very gentle. I forgot to wear a raincoat. And inside, a familiar woman's voice. Come in, I have a lot of towels.